All right, quarter two, standard two. I can add and subtract positive and negative numbers. Okay, so simplify means solve, right? Currently, this expression has two terms, and the simplest it can get is one term, right? So 6 plus negative 8, I think of this as 6, 6 positives and 8 negatives. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. Right, so I have 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and I'm left with negative 2. Okay, we could also do like a number line, and I'm going to start at positive 6, and I'm going to go to the left 8 spaces because I'm adding a negative, so I'm going to decrease the value. So go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and that would be 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's 0, negative 1, and negative 2. And so there is my answer, negative 2. All right, two different ways to look at that. Question 6, negative 15 plus negative 14. Again, I prefer to think of this with the tiles, and I'm not going to draw all the tiles out, but you would have 15 negative tiles, and then you would add 14 more negatives. You can also think of this as like this. I have 15 negatives. Oh, I'm in there. Woohoo! I have 15 negatives, and I'm going to add 14 negatives. So I'm going to get 29 negatives. Okay, so I have negative 29. If you want to think of this as a number line, again, we would start at negative 15 and then we would go 14 to the left. And that would get us to negative 29. All right, so 5 minus negative 20. If you got this one wrong, the comment I left you was to try to rewrite it as an addition problem. And as we discussed earlier, subtracting a negative is the same as adding a positive, so it would be 5 plus 20, which is 25. Negative 10 minus negative 60. A lot of negatives here. So a lot of people thought the answer was negative. But again, I'm going to rewrite this as an addition problem. And I'm going to start at negative 10 because I don't change the first number. And then that's going to be plus 60. All right. Again, I like to think of the tiles. So I have 10 minus tiles and 60 positive tiles. I'm going to make 10 different zero pairs, and I'll be left with 50 positives. Maybe you can also rewrite this negative 10 plus 60 because I can change the order in an addition problem. This equals 60 plus negative 10. And we already discussed earlier that adding a negative is the same as subtracting. So we just have 60 minus 10, which, as we all know, is 50. Number 9, simplify and please show your work. So now we have a bunch of negatives and we also have fractions, which is always fun. So I'm going to, again, rewrite this as an addition problem, right? So I have negative 6 sevenths plus 13 fourteenths. Now, a lot of us forgot that we have to find a common denominator here, right? So my common denominator is going to be 14, and I'm just going to show you that over here. Negative 6 over 7, I multiply by a giant 1 because that's how we find equivalent fractions, and I get negative 12 fourteenths. So this problem is the same as negative 12 fourteenths plus 13 fourteenths, right? And when I'm adding fractions, I don't change the denominator. So that's going to be negative 14. And then I just do negative 12 plus 13. Or sorry, I think I said negative 14. That's just going to be 14, right? Because I have 14, 14, and 14. So now I just add the numerators. Negative 12 plus 13 is 1. So I have 1/14 is my answer, right? That's it for that. Or number 10, simplify, please show your work. I'm going to write this as a subtraction problem. Because it's fractions and I can't think of it as tiles, so for me it's easier to think of this problem as a subtraction problem. So I have 10 thirds minus 5/8. Again, I need to find a common denominator. And when in doubt, just multiply each fraction by a giant 1 with the other fraction's denominator. So I have 8 over 8, which gives me 80/24, because I multiply straight across. And then I have 5/8 times, I'm going to use this denominator as 3 over 3, and that gives me 15/24. Now, most common mistake was that we added these instead of subtracted. And the other common mistake was mixing up the order. So because we are subtracting, order is important. So I have to go with 10 thirds first, which is equivalent to 80/24. So I go 80/24 minus 15/24, which gives me 65/24, which simplifies to 2 and 17/24. Now, a lot of us got 65/24, but made some mistakes when simplifying. So be careful when you're simplifying. Either one of these is okay. Both of these answers are great.